This is J-Man from MusicMarauders.com here with Ray White and Fareed Haque. Thank you for... It's me.
It's all about him.
Oh, yeah. On this couch, it's all about me, yeah.
That's right.
How are you guys?
Fine, alive and well.
Doing well.
On this side of the grass.
Awesome.
You know?
That's a good thing, yeah, absolutely.
That's the first thing.
How did your musical relationship begin?
Well,
Juliet?
I asked him to, Juliet, 1916. I wore the wig the first day. He wore the wig the second day. It was love. It was straight. We met when you were, the first time I met you was with
Garage Mahal, right?
Garage Mahal.
And you came and sang with us at Yoshi's or something, right?
Yeah, and we did a set like that, and then, then I went one way to Michigan, and I didn't know you were in Chicago.
Yeah. And then, and actually, I think we owe our collaboration actually to Jay.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah.
Because it was Jay brought together Willie and Ray and myself and Dave Watts and Joey Porter. I think and Joey was on it.
It was a great gig.
And we had a great gig. And after, I was talking to Jay and I said, Ray and I could do some shit together. And Jay said, okay.
Deal.
And I said, all we got to do is rehearse. That'd be good. And Jay said, okay.
Okay.
And that's where it laid. And then all of a sudden we were like, we're going to tour, and Jay said, and how about Ray? And we
hit it.
Yeah.
And then the next thing was Jay called me and said, would you do this thing? Let's see if you can do this thing. I said, yeah, if you bring Fareed. so
How is it doing a 3-night run at a place like Coyotes in Colorado?
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wonderful. The energy is here. The energy here is absolutely off the charts.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It's just,
and it harkens back to a time where all gigs were stints. You called it a stint. You were there for 2 weeks, so you got a chance to work on the music,
right?
And we got a chance to work on the music, And next time we do this, we'll have even more of a chance.
I noticed actually there were a lot of song repeats between the first couple nights there that you guys did. Do you guys find it best to focus on working on like a core group of songs?
We were going to rehearse some more. But it turns out there were some of the guys that gig in the afternoon.
Okay.
The other family things,
Oh yeah, family things.
Because when you're a young father, you realize that those things really take precedent.
Yeah.
You have to give room for that to happen because some things only happen once in a lifetime.
Right.
Having 4 kids myself, I know what that's all about.
That's quite
so we just basically concentrated on the ones we had and just rocked out. Time.
And I noticed too a difference between Friday and Saturday too. I'm tightened up quite a bit. Can you tell me about Math Games and the concept behind the project?
Well, Math Games started out as sort of a collection of all the different mathematical ideas that Garage Mahal worked with Indian music. And Kai and I were both into that sort of Indian influence in funk. Funk is very geometrical music. And then of course the whole electronic world opens up musical palette of shapes and colors rather than simply notes. And so as I started getting into electronics, I said, wow, there's all this electronic music that's mathematical, there's all this jazz music that's mathematical, there's all this funk music that's mathematical, there's all this Indian music that's mathematical, and math brings all of them together. And so one of the things that I noticed that hasn't really been done is there hadn't been a lot of electronic music that has roots. And the one thing that Ray and I both bring to music is roots. R&B roots, gospel roots, jazz roots, classical roots. A lot of this music is about roots. So to bring roots to the electronic music, I think is a gap.
There's something to be said for that too, because there's electronic music in general. Often that's what they're lacking is the tasteful roots aspect to it. It's just a lot of repeated beats and a lot of synthesized material as opposed to bringing roots material.
There was a time when the wah-wah pedal, people thought, oh my God, what is this crazy thing?
It's going to ruin music as we know it, right.
But then the wah-wah pedal got hooked up with the roots, of gospel and R&B music, and it became a central part of new music, So people have to take the roots and embrace the technology. You can't separate that. And that's what Math Games is trying to do.
It's a good thing that you're doing for electronic music too. It's much needed in this current time.
The technology is a bit daunting, for a little, old dude like me. Electronics is a little daunting, but we're getting there. I'm sitting there
Oh, I think I did it. I broke it. I broke it. I broke it. Shit.
Ray, can you talk about some of the challenges of playing with a guy like Frank Zappa?
The truth of it was, not having known who he was when I joined the band, I had never heard of him. So I didn't have this image built in my mind. So I didn't have to overcome that to get to the music, to get to, that.
How about musically speaking?
Musically, it was cool. It was just, it was learning. I had been doing, all kind of counter stuff, We would do things in our band in San Francisco where we would go, everybody would start in a different place, and we'd all meet in the middle. We were like, oh, enthralled by this. We were young, not knowing when I was 7. I had no idea, no concept. Just, you do 7, you do 6, you do 5, you do this, and we'll see what we meet, And then I get with him, and he's got this stuff just laid out like a dream, and
it was all pretty much charted, wasn't it? Charted material?
Oh yeah. Well, for them, for the other guys it was. For me, it was here. You have to hear it, and that was a blessing I had. I could hear rhythms, I could hear, harmonies and stuff. So.
Well, that's one of the things that makes Ray so unique, is that there are a lot of great singers out there who have roots and have soul and can sing all that music, but they might not understand the odd rhythms and the harmony and the other layers of complexity. But Ray has all that.
That's a blessing.
So with Frank and Fareed, it's just
it's easy.
What do you guys enjoy most about playing music live for people? Or for yourselves?
For me, it's just like last night. It was. It had the feeling of being in the living room with a bunch of friends over. Somebody brought a keg,
That's how the vibe is.
You know what I'm saying? And they had some Japanese lanterns in the backyard, and everybody was just having a great time.
Yeah.
And the cops weren't called, because the neighbors were there too.
Right.
And that was the vibe last night. It was just, let it go, don't worry about anything. Everything you need is here right now. It's that Siddhartha thing. You're making the Buddha. It's all about now, not the rivers at the sea. Now. So that's what it was last night. That's what I enjoyed. In that moment, there's nothing sweeter.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
It really is,
Well, I appreciate both of your time today. Thank you very much for sitting down. You guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for coming out to Coyotes and making the music you guys make. And catch Fareed Haque and Math Games with Ray White July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at Coyotes. Cool.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks guys. I really appreciate it. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
America been very, very good to me.
That's
That's our advice.
a lot. Come on. Make fucking, not boring.
Yeah.
Make fucking.
I am to be make fucking.
I am to be making